Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, what I want to do is do a small update, as well as show another side of the fish room based on a question that someone had. So for the first update, just want to talk about the divider, the sponge, the 2-inch sponge that's in here. Pretty much works as a mat and filter. I know people are going to ask what this is, so I'll answer that first. This is just a PVC pipe on the bottom that's holding, just so any debris can get underneath it, holding this plastic canvas mesh, and then I have a terracotta bottom pot thing sitting on top, and this is for the fry. These two females you see right here should be giving birth anytime soon, and right now what they're doing is just breeding so I can sell these fish to my local fish store, that in return help with costs for food and stuff like that. So this side right now is fish I am done with, and it will be sold to the local fish store. There's 15 in there. And in this side I have another 15. Most of them are still growing out. They're still pretty small fry. And then I have these two females that should be giving birth, and then this male who I want to be one of the future breeders. I'll show you guys him in detail in the future. So that's what that is. And then this was the divider I just set up about... You guys will be seeing this video on Saturday. Today's Friday, so it's been in there for about a week. And none of the fish have been able to get through, not even like the plecos. They do suck onto it, but I don't think they're eating it, to my knowledge at least. And it's been working very well, so what you see right here is the water getting blown out, plus some air to aerate the water. I threw in some duckweed. This is on top of here, so the splashing doesn't get over everything. It just runs on here and then drips right back into the tank. So you can see that there is some debris on it already, but it's working really well. The water level is equal on both sides, which is how I should assume should stay that way. It's only been there a week. I've spoken to other people that use Matten filters, which this technically is a Matten filter, but usually Matten filters, they would be like here on a tank, sucking water in from a small area and pumping it over, so like towards the other end of the tank, whatever. And it would just doing that. As this empties, water is dragged in. So that's pretty much what this is doing. So the water is coming into this side, and since there's more on this side, it turns back through here and through the filter. So it's actually adding more filtration, which is perfect, so I can keep more fish in there. Yeah, it's been working pretty fine. I'll do updates every so often on it, if people want to do that. And I'll also be doing updates on the fry as they happen. So today I'm doing my water change, and this is another part about the video I want to talk about. You can't really see it in these tanks because of these Java moss mats that I'm currently trying to make. But if you look in this tank, like you can see all that debris in the back. This one you can see it right there on the bottom. Since I set these tanks up, I want to say, I think they've been set up about 2 months now. Maybe 3. I haven't actually vacuumed them. All I do is water changes. And they stay relatively clean. But I've had people ask how I keep them so clean. And I just don't overfeed. I feed the fish whatever they could eat within a minute or 2 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. And I fast them once a week. Usually on a Monday or a Tuesday I'll fast them. That way it gets the digestive system. It's like I guess like a cleanse for the digestive system. I also don't feed them very high protein foods like brine shrimp. Well, for the adults I don't feed them high protein foods such as brine shrimp or bloodworms. They usually get that only once a week, once or twice a week. Fry, they get frozen brine shrimp more often. I go for frozen brine shrimp just because it's easier than constantly having cultures of live brine shrimp, because I never have very much success with them, and I feel it's too messy and annoying. So I just buy the frozen ones, just as good. Their pieces break off and they could just eat them just like that. So these tanks have to be not broken down necessarily, but cleaned out better. So what I do is I'll start off with one tank, put the fish into, I have a tank down there, put some water in there, take everything out into there as well, and then I will do my water change but suck out everything so there is no debris left on the bottom of the tanks. I put the plants back in, the Java moss mats, and the fish with the water level low. Do that for each tank and then fill them up. That way, the fish are still in their normal water, and as I do the water changes, they're getting used to it as they usually do. The other way would be to take out the fish, clean out the tank, put the fish back in the tank after the water change was done. But I don't like that just because they're going from their old water to their old water mixed with new water. And I don't like that. I rather the water be filled as they're in there like they usually are, so they're not as stressed out. I'm not sure it makes much of a difference, but that's the way I look at it and the way I like to keep it, just for the fish's safety. And that's what I'm about to do right now, so let me just show you the tanks right now, and then I'll show you again them after the water change. So there's not too much in these tanks. I try not to overfeed, but you do see some debris and waste on the bottom. These are not too bad. I definitely try not to overfeed the fish. You can see right there by the filter in the back. And then same thing in this one. I've noticed usually there's more mess when there's pond snails inside the tanks, and I do keep them in there because they help clean out the tank and eat uneaten food, but that's what you don't want. You don't want the uneaten food. So if it's going to happen, food gets stuck places where fish can't get it sometimes, but main goal is don't overfeed. I also brought in one of the water lettuce from the pond outside. Since it's getting too cold and it's starting to die out, that's why it's all messed up, to see if I could keep some alive for next year. That's why I also have the Java moss, the duckweed, not Java moss, in here. Alright guys, so with that said, I'm going to do this water change, and then I'll show you what those tanks look like once I'm done. I'm not going to touch this one. This one's pretty fine. So I'll do those guys. Since they're smaller, water quality changes a lot faster than it would in a 30-gallon, since these are 5.5 gallons. So I'm going to stop rambling on and do this water change and show you what that looks like. Alright, so I'm doing the first tank right now, and this is the one with the red chili Dumbo Ear Guppies in it. And I just want to point out something. I'm also cleaning out the sponge filters in old tank water that I'm taking out. And I just want to show you what that looks like from just one tank. So this is the water I just took out. So this is how good these sponge filters work, because this is about 2 months worth, and they didn't even seem clogged. But that's all the debris that was inside of those sponges. So I just wanted to show you guys that, because that is pretty nasty water. Now I'm just going to continue on to the other three. Alright guys, so this is post water change. Just a warning, the tanks are not perfect, because no matter how much I vacuum, I couldn't get everything, but they are significantly cleaner. So here's the first one. It's right over here. And these two are the worst ones, but you don't see anything in the back. And same thing with this one. I did clean out the sponge filters as well. I had to take that last one actually apart, because this part where this is just an extra one. The part where the air comes in, which is right here where my thumb is, has a bunch of little holes around the side, so the air bubbles are really small. It's for the lift. And I guess it got some calcium deposit or something in there, and it was blocking the holes. So that was one of my reasons that I couldn't get that last one to be as powerful as these. But now it looks like it's working very well. So that's that. Didn't do anything to this other than just a regular water change, but I believe next week what I'll do is, this side's not as bad, or actually isn't bad at all, because the pump is taking everything out. This side has to actually be vacuumed out. There's a little divider in there from these guys that must have fell in there. But there's a bunch of snail shells that the assassins have been killing, and all that has to be vacuumed out. Also, the canister filter is due for its maintenance. I've noticed that the water flow coming out of here and these is actually reduced. It's not as great as it was. It's not too bad. It still works fine, but has to be cleaned out. So that concludes this video. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you liked anything in this video. And if you're new to the channel, welcome, and hit that subscribe button for more future videos. Check out my Patreon to help support any work I do on my channel. Even 50 cents to $1, even less than that, really does help a lot. And that's it for this video, guys. Till next time, have a great one.